Am I the a-hole for telling my sister I'll report her to the police if she files a false assault claim? Original post. This past Saturday, we had a birthday party for one of my siblings. It was supposed to be a pretty decent night, but things took a turn because of my 41-year-old sister. She had too much to drink and started acting inappropriately toward my 23-year-old nephew-in-law, my other sister's son-in-law. At first, it was just little things, standing too close, laughing a little too hard at his jokes. But then other people started noticing her brushing up against him, touching his arm, and being way too flirty. At one point, she was following him around, and he was clearly being polite by figuring out another way to walk away. I've heard my 41-year-old sister make weird comments about him before, stuff that always made me uncomfortable, but I never thought she'd actually cross a line. My nephew-in-law is 23, muscular and tall. My niece is 22, and they love each other very much. My nephew-in-law was clearly uncomfortable and did his best to avoid her. He finally went up to his mother-in-law, my other sister, and told her that he wasn't trying to cause a scene. But my 41-year-old sister kept squeezing his arms and telling him how handsome he is. My other sister got very upset and tried to talk to my already drunk sister, but it didn't go well at all. My 41-year-old sister tried to play it off, like he was making it up, but we all saw it. My niece, his wife, was devastated, and my other sister was angry. To keep things as peaceful as possible, I told my 41-year-old sister she needed to leave, and I had a friend take her home. She wasn't happy about it, but I thought that was the end of it. Fast forward to today, she has been telling family members who weren't at the party that my nephew-in-law came on to her and even attempted to sexually assault her. She's now saying she plans to file a police report. I was surprised and told her straight up that if she does, I'll report her for filing a false claim because I know she's lying. Now she is playing the victim and saying I'm a terrible sibling for not defending her. Some family members believe her because, in their words, my nephew-in-law is young, dumb, and full of you-know-what, while others know she's lying, because they've heard her be inappropriate plenty of times with other young guys. But now I'm the one caught in the middle. I don't want to make things worse, but I also can't just let her ruin someone's life, his and my niece's, because she got embarrassed. I told her she better let that night go, because if she goes through with this, I will have to report her. So, am I the a-hole for telling her I'll report her if she files a false police report against my nephew-in-law? Now for the top comments before reading the update. It's tough being in the middle of family drama, but ultimately, you're standing up for what's right. I loathe family drama. I am the only guy. I have 4 sisters, and I am always putting out fires. Our parents are older now, so they look to me as the patriarch. Fun times. You've got to stop inviting her to events. She is predatory and an alcoholic. Until she cleans up her messy self, she's not fit for socializing. Oh, most definitely. She is not invited to anything anymore, especially since she is willing to lie about everything. I can't even think that far ahead on how that will play out, but I already know for the safety of everyone, she can't come. I would tell all the family members exactly what you said here. It's great you're willing to go to the police if she tries to report him, but she's already harmed him. She's harassed him and ruined his reputation. She's an awful person. I'd be tempted to tell the police anyway. I bet she will do this again in the future, and it would be good if they had a record of it. Yeah, I am pretty sure my 41-year-old sister is completely dragging my name in the mud to everyone who will listen. So I'm certain my family already knows. She has a victim mindset, and the people who weren't there hopefully are giving me benefit to say, well, if he is going to the police, if you go to the police, what's the real story? But unfortunately, she is very good at convincing people she is not who she really is. I love her dearly, but that is one of her major flaws. I have let my other sisters know. They are on board with backing me and testifying if she does take it this far. Not the a-hole. Contact a lawyer and ask them what you can do to help your nephew. Yes, I will. I really hate that this is even a conversation I have to look into. But unfortunately, my sister is stubborn and will likely go far with this one. She is also still very upset with me that I sent her home. Now for the update. So I got a call from my sister asking me if everyone was okay. I told her no, and honestly was confused as to why she asked me that. She should know we are not. She told me she is still thinking about pursuing this because, in her words, her name is being dragged in the mud, but it really should be my nephew-in-law's. Her friends and co-workers are encouraging her to not be bullied, shamed, or silenced. She said she really wants us all to know she would never do anything to hurt anyone, and if filing the police report and going as far as pressing charges will prove that, then that's what she will do. I ended up telling her that if she went through with this, we will take legal action for my nephew-in-law, and as far as the family goes, we will seriously cut communication with her because this is wrong. She then asked me if I was okay with her going to jail to clear my nephew-in-law's name. I told her yes, because you know he didn't do anything. You did. And then I disconnected the call. I think she wanted me to say I believed her. I have no clue. So to prepare, I've called a few attorneys to set up consultations for my nephew. I'm waiting to hear back. His parents are now involved as well and want to assist their son with seeking counsel. I have communicated to them that we know their son didn't do anything. They live in a different state and are very worried, but thankfully they still trust me and his mother-in-law, my other sister for now. Shaking my head. Why? Next story. Girlfriend said I violated her on Facebook and got mad when I gave my side of the story. Am I the a-hole? I, 30 male, have been with my girlfriend, 29 female, for 3 years, and I love her with all my heart. For the past several days, she has been giving me the silent treatment and acting like she hates me, outright ignoring things I say unless it's necessary to communicate, leaving a room when I enter it, glaring at me, and shutting doors when she's on the phone, slamming cupboard doors, and throwing food I'm cooking in the trash if I walk away from it for too long. This is all because I took advantage of her while she slept and then embarrassed her publicly. Please reserve judgment until I explain. About 6 months ago, I noticed a blackhead on her cheek. It looked like it could probably be popped back then, but I didn't say anything. I figured when she washed her face, she'd take care of it. She never did. It started small, but over time it grew into a raised dark plug on her cheek that could not be ignored and was very visible, and it was driving me nuts. I asked her, begged her, to let me pop it, but she refused, insisting it was an evolving beauty mark. I paid for us to get facials together, and the technician asked her if she wanted her to extract it, and she gave her the damn beauty mark line. Fast forward to about a week ago. We went out with her sisters dancing and drinking and had a great time. When we got home, she laid down and passed out from the margaritas. I was removing her earrings, taking her shoes off, and wiping her makeup off with those little face towels. She has told me to do all this if she falls asleep without doing it herself, and has been mad when I let her sleep not ready for bed. Then I saw that damn blackhead. It almost looked like I could yank it out with tweezers. I know it was wrong, but I couldn't help myself. I placed a warm compress on it. She didn't wake up. I washed my hands and grabbed the sterile lancet. I barely scratched the surface and gently squeezed. It came out in one glorious intact piece. It didn't bleed. The skin was slightly pink, but that was gone before morning, and her cheek looked perfect, as though it was never there. The next morning over breakfast, I confessed, expecting her to maybe be very annoyed at worst. Instead, she flipped out. She ran to the bathroom mirror and gasped and said, "What is wrong with you? You just helped yourself to poking and prodding me while I was unconscious? What else did you do?" The rest is a blur of us arguing and me apologizing profusely. She didn't seem that angry anymore after 2 days, and I thought she got over it. She did not get over it. A friend of mine texted me to ask me what the heck was going on at my house because she was posting status updates that she blocked me from seeing, implying she was not okay. Updates such as, "Trust is a fragile thing. Once broken, it's never repaired. Being betrayed in your most vulnerable state will change your perspective. Sometimes the ones who claim to love you the most are the ones who violate you the worst." Cue the barrage of concerned comments. A couple friends posted the RAIN hotline for her. At least 3 people demanded she name the person who had hurt her. Her best friend, who I thought was my good friend too, even posted, "If this is about OP, I swear to God he's dead." There were too many comments for me to repeat, speculating, and my name was brought up. She never corrected anyone either. The most I saw were responses saying, "DM me, don't want to talk publicly," and she liked the rain comments. At this point, I was in full WTF mode. Finally, I commented under a friend's account and said, "Hi, this is OP. All I did was pop a blackhead. That's it. A comedone, a clogged pore. That's the violation we're talking about. Grow up, girlfriend." People who had been offering her emotional support were both amused and not so amused. Some highlights. "Wait, you mean the evolving beauty spot? LMAO, thank Bob, that thing needed to go. This is what you were talking about? Shaking my damn head. You play too much. Okay, I thought this was something actually serious." The last conversation we had, she said she was furious at me for embarrassing her and making her look dramatic. She says I had no right to touch her face without permission, and she feels deeply violated. I get that, and I am sorry, but I don't think it's okay for her to basically make it sound like she was assaulted and allow people to speculate it was me, and not correct them. I also don't think I should be treated the way she's treating me now. She threw away a meal I had cooked for both of us. I still prepare a plate for her when I cook, even if she's mad, because I walked away to open some windows. When I confronted her, she locked herself in our bedroom for the rest of the night. So, am I the a-hole here? Insinuating an assault violation would be a deal breaker for me. I have family that have pulled this card and are like that, my mother being one of them. She's tried to paint me in a negative light with family, even though I wasn't even in the same county as her at the time, and it's blown up in her face online. There's a few drama llamas. If you stay with her, something worse is likely to happen, especially since she blocked you from seeing her posts. Thank goodness this got out before you got married. I'd say it's time to make her an ex. Work on your escape plan. Exactly, OP. Why are you still with her? Now she is double hurt for exposing her. Beware with what she's going to accuse you next time. It's time to put some distance between her unhinged, vindictive self before you get into irreparable damage. Time to run and move on. This kind of damage to your reputation cannot be completely undone. I even understand her being mad, but the extremes she took deserve her to be dumped as quick as you say a-hole. 100% this. OP, get out now. She's already let people think you abused her. These things only get worse, and she is emotionally torturing you. Everyone sucks here. You had no right to do what you did, but her reaction and implications are worse. Add to this the silent treatment and throwing away half-cooked meals, and you have a live-in ex. Respect yourself enough to end this officially, and don't touch people without consent in the future. This right here, it's such a gray area and a fine line that is 100% dependent on the relationship dynamics. But the way she acted and let everyone think it was something bigger is inexcusable. Last story. Am I the a-hole for drugging my cousin's wife at a family barbecue? My aunt hosted a family barbecue yesterday. She has one of those frozen margarita machines that comes out for every party, and we were all having fun drinking margaritas, eating food, and catching up. I excused myself to have a smoke, and my cousin's wife, Jessica, said she would join me. She asked to bum a smoke, and I said sure, but let her know they weren't tobacco, they were hemp, and asked her if she was fine with that. She said she only smokes when she's drunk anyway, and that it was fine. At this point, I had switched to water because I was feeling pretty tipsy and still had to drive home later. Jessica, on the other hand, was going hard on the frozen margaritas. I'm not one to count drinks, but her glass was never empty. This is where things got messy. Jessica, clearly drunk at this point, ended up falling in the pool. Full dress, makeup, phone, everything. I ran over to help pull her out, but once she was out, she started freaking out on me. She started yelling that I had drugged her and that's why she fell in the pool. It turned into a huge scene. Everyone ran over and Jessica was bawling and screaming that I had given her a weed cigarette, and she didn't realize until it hit her, and that she'd been stoned ever since. My whole family was staring at me while I tried to explain that it was definitely not weed. It was a hemp cigarette that I literally bought on Amazon. I pulled out the pack and showed everyone where it says 0% THC. I told Jessica I was sorry she fell in the pool, but it was most likely because she'd been drinking all day, not because of a hemp cigarette I gave her hours ago. Then, in a very classy moment, Jessica threw a margarita in my face. My uncle told her and my cousin that they needed to leave, and she said she was going to call the cops and press charges. My cousin apologized and said Jessica's just going through a tough time and he'll make sure she calms down. So I thought that was that, but when I told my friend what happened, she said, I don't think she should have thrown her drink at you, but you gave someone a hemp cigarette when they were already drunk, which is kinda sketchy. Now I'm wondering, I did tell her it was hemp, and it doesn't have any THC in it, but maybe I should have just said no? Was I the a-hole here? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Sounds like she was embarrassed that she made a scene and embarrassed herself so wanted to blame someone else. Definitely seems like she was looking for someone to blame for her own choices. Not the a-hole. Drunk or not, you told her it was hemp and she made a decision. She then blamed weed for her tipsiness, not how weed works instead, to save face considering she was drunk, which does cause you to lose balance. You then even showed her it had 0 THC, thus she couldn't be high. To top this all off of her big show, she had a fake meltdown and threw a drink at you. Your uncle and her boyfriend removed her and apologized to you. As they knew she was in the wrong, she owes you an apology. I'm hoping she calls and apologizes soon, but I doubt it. She won't, but you're about to get a few calls by flying monkeys, asking you to be the bigger person and apologize to keep the peace. These people always have enablers, and they're the worst. She is an adult who chose to get drunk and smoke. If you know you can't control or handle it, why do you do it until you can't? Not the a-hole for you, YTA for her. Totally agree. Also, sorry OP. Sounds like a rough time and you didn't deserve it. Yeah, it was not a fun time. I never knew how sticky a margarita can be until it was all over my face, lol. Not the a-hole. You very clearly told her what it was, and she said she was a social smoker. That freaking said 0% is 0%. I dab, and boy do I. I know as do any regular cannabis user if it doesn't have THC, you aren't high. Like you said, gal was drinking like a fish, and likely is an alcoholic in denial.